back to my channel. My name is Ashley. If this is your first time, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're a return viewer, I appreciate you coming back week after week. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the word opinions, and he came up with the topic, so I'm just going to let him briefly share where that came from. I'll share a little bit, he'll share a little bit, and we'll wrap this video up. So, how'd this topic come about?
This topic came about because earlier in the week, about Monday, Tuesday, experienced something on social media. And normally everybody knows how social media is. Opinions run rampant. So you see it on your daily feed. You see differing opinions every single day. You hear it every day. You read it every day. You see it on TV every day. So my brother, he's a big on social media. And I say big, but like he has a pretty good page, right? So he get comments all the time, whether it be positive or negative. And like these particular comments, they rub me the wrong way, him the wrong way too. And I think we could have handled it better. But the opinions topic came into my mind after that, just because of just like one of the questions I asked myself is like, did you really have to waste your time and comment on something you disagreed with and you don't like anyway? And I've asked myself that question for the last week, and just reflecting on that moment in time and just being like, was it that important to you to waste 2 to 3 minutes to type up something that didn't even revolve around you? And even if you disliked it, all you had to do was move on, go away, don't comment at all. So that was where that stemmed from earlier in the week.
So when he said the opinions thing, of course he had told me about the situation with Twitter. We I'm not gonna say we disagree on that, but just how we handle it is different. Because if somebody says something I don't agree with, I don't have time to sit there and go back and forth with you. But I get his point, because it's just like, okay, it's his brother's page, and so you want to kind of like, I get that aspect of it. But the same time that they used to type something was the same time that you used to say something back. And so at the end of the day, it's just a give and take of what, like he said last week, your voice is valuable, your voice is powerful. So you choose where you want to exert that energy from, okay? But anyway, for me, when we talked about the opinions, I thought about a different situation, because I hear opinions on the daily, at work, at home. I hear it a lot, just people give their opinions about me, about what I got going on. And it's just like, but why do you feel the need to share that? Because I didn't ask you how you feel about what I have on, or I didn't ask you to comment on me. But people feel very comfortable in doing things like that, and it's just always interesting to me. It's really interesting, and I'm to the point now where it's like a lot of times I don't even take the time to respond or address it, just because it's like, for what? The particular individual I'm thinking about that does it a lot, I see that that's how they are, and it will benefit me none at all to sit there and go back and forth with that person. So when he suggested the opinions topic, that's kind of what came to my mind. But just to kind of help you, because I feel like this is a subject or a topic that everyone deals with, it's universal. Just to help you with that, if you're struggling with it, you may not be, but just basically you have to know who you are in Christ. You have to be strong in who you are, because so often people are going to comment on your life, they're going to comment on your hair, they're going to comment on your relationship, they're going to comment on and have opinions on a lot of things that you have going on. But if you're strong in Christ and you understand that it's Him that's ordering your steps and your decisions, you're not going to feel the need to justify what you're doing or to get validation from others. So that's kind of what's helped me, and it's a growth thing for me. It has been. Some people have that strong skin naturally, that thick skin naturally, where they could care less what people say. But for me personally, that's not been my testimony. I've kind of had that not so thick skin, and I've had to grow into where I am now. But it's a really good place to be, because regardless of what you're doing, even if you're doing everything they're saying you should, they're still going to have something to say.
You're not going to please everybody.
You're not going to please the majority of the people. And we talked about it, validation. You should not be looking for validation from anyone other than God. And you don't have to He loves you before you do anything. He loves you when you mess up. He loves you when you're right, when you're wrong. He still loves you, okay? So that's the good thing about God. People is wishy-washy, okay? I use a sports example, like when you're doing great out there making 30 points a night, of course they're gonna be cheering you on, but let you miss the game winner one time. So if you allow people to elevate you, they can also bring you down. So that's all I have on that for now.
It's true. And it's like everything translates. But before I go into that, one of the points that she said that I want to touch on is just like people always commenting on you. Like, bruh, I can only speak for myself when it comes to stuff like this, but not really though, because I see it all the time. I see it with her, I see it with my family, I see it with my dad being a pastor. Everybody got opinions on that. Everybody got different opinions over here. But for me personally, when it comes to opinions and somebody has something that says I need to work on, or they have just this opinion on me, normally I don't care, because one, you don't know me. So anything you say, I'm not going to take with a grain of salt. And it's not that I get defensive. I'm just like, bro, you don't know me for 2 seconds. So why in the world would you think for a second your opinion means anything to me? That's 2. And then 3 is just seek wise counsel. What's that critical word?
Oh, critical, constructive criticism?
Yeah, that bull crap word. Anyway, that's that constructive criticism crap. It's like, no, it's not. I don't know you, and you aren't in my life. You're not my mom, you're not my dad. So your opinion of what I need to do is unsolicited, unwanted, and one, you ain't on the same path I'm on, so your opinion doesn't matter to me. That's just me. But now back on track. One thing we can relate this whole conversation to about opinions was relationships. So like, we're in a relationship, right? So if somebody from the outside was to say, oh, I just don't like, they ain't gonna work out, I just don't like them together. It's like, who asked you? Why? It's just, I just don't like you. It's like, if you can't give a competent response as to why you don't like it, shut up. Like, sit over there, be quiet. You know what I mean?
And probably be single, because a lot of times people comment, there's a thing that says hurt people, but they see something in you that they don't possess within themselves. And what did you say about the insecurities?
People display their insecurities on, most people, when they hate on something, they're insecure in their own right, and they don't know how to deal with that. So what their first response is to hate on that one thing that they know they need to get better at.
And they see you where they want to be, and it bothers them.
Right.
And so you have to remember that when people, because I honestly believe that people are going to comment on stuff unsolicited. They're going to continue to share their opinions to the end of time. So with that being said, we as the people on the receiving end have to understand you take it as for what it is. That's if they want to sit there and comment, don't let it affect you, is what I'm trying to say. Don't let it negatively affect you. Right. Because at the end of the day, they're dealing with something in themselves. They feel for whatever reason that they have the right to speak on you, which they don't. And you can't let it bother you. You can't.
Right.
You can't.
And I got a story that ties well into this video, because I told her about it and she knows. This was regarding my spring semester. This is when we first met, but at the end of that semester, I got 2 C's, which so happened to be those 2, and I'm a cell and molecular biology major. So these 2 classes, they were in cell biology and organic chemistry 1. 2 C's, right? 2 hard classes, really hard classes. Everything else I got A's in, right? And my advisor, not my advisor, I work in the advisement center, so I'm not gonna name any names, but just for sake of the conversation, these people, which I love dearly, and their opinion means well because they know me, I've been around them, I know them, we communicate well, we're great people to work with. Like, in their opinions, they matter to a certain degree, but not really. Because, and I say that to continue the story, I was getting my grades back and I still finished with a 3.0, right? And given these people aren't in my major, and that goes back to the what's the word? Constructive criticism, right? So I told her what I got, and the lady was like, "Oh, you got to do better. You can't be a doctor with 2 C's." I was like, "Okay." Anyway, and then she just kept went on this rant, and I'm like, "I get you coming from a good spot." And then another person came in and she told her my grades. She's like, "Oh yeah, you gotta get that up. You can't be a doctor like that." I was like, First off, hold up for a second.
Don't tell me what I
Right.
can't do.
I told that to them too, and they think I'm getting defensive. I'm not getting defensive. It's like, bro, when it comes to stuff like that, I'm a cellular molecular biology major. Y'all, I don't know what y'all's majors were, but it wasn't in the STEM field at that. So when it comes to experience, when it comes to just what I was thinking in my head was like, y'all haven't been a part of this major, one, and this career field, two, to give me an opinion on what I need to do better that I already don't know and expect of myself. So why are you giving me an opinion that, one, I already know what I need to do to get my stuff right, and then two, you haven't walked this walk. You've been to college and you've majored in what you majored in, but you haven't been down this road that I'm going down.
So basically, just to piggyback off of his story, this happened to me recently. I'm not going to go into the details because that's not important. But like he said, if you are a self-aware person, you know the areas that you need to work on. I'm extremely self-aware. I'm extremely self-critical, maybe to a fault, because there's a thin line between self-awareness, being self-critical, and like self-hate, because it can get to the point where you're just like looking at everything wrong about yourself that you need to work on, and you got to be careful with that. But I say all that to say, no one knows you better than you. So often our family members point out those areas we need to work on, but like he said, we know. I don't need you telling me what I need to work on. And that's what bothers me, because, and it happened, I can share it. I love my family, so we were having family time or whatever, and I don't know who it was at the table telling me what I need to work on. And I said, okay, yeah, you're right. What do y'all need to work on? Since we're about to have prayer, these bugs showing out. Since we're about to have prayer, let's just put all the things that everybody needs to work out on the table.
Right, this ain't
just about me. We're going to all pray about it, okay? Because at the end of the day, those things we need to work on, you need to pray about it and then work on it. But it goes back to the opinions. Nobody needs you telling them what they need to work on, because at the end of the day, they're not going to work on it until they're ready. So you're wasting your time. And more than likely, they know what it is they need to work on.
Right.
If anything, you can pray about it, but don't sit up there and just try to point out everything they need to work on, because that's not helping anybody.
And then another story when it comes to sports, like, everybody's dealt with this. Like, for football, when we come back from a game, whether we win or lose, everybody want to point out what somebody did wrong. And the thing that makes me irritable to this day is like, why'd you do this when you miss a tackle or you do something like this? Like, man, I don't know why, but don't sit there and tell me I messed up when clearly I know I messed up. I was in the moment. Now I'm sitting here listening to you tell me what I didn't do. That's the moral of the story. Like, no, you're you, so you know what you need to work on, whether it happens in the moment, and then once it happens and you're going forward, you know that you need to improve on these things. So when it comes, that's the thing that makes me mad, is just when somebody sits there and says, and it made me mad in sports, and it makes me mad now. It's like, don't tell me what I'm doing wrong, because I live it every day, and I'm still working to get it correct. So don't sit there and tell me something I already know I did. And that's just really, that's the story. It's just kind of just like, you know you better than you, and that's what she said. It's just, you coach you control you. Other people are just gonna put their 2 cents naturally, just because that's who they are. Right.
But like, in short, just to wrap the whole video up, I think the tips that we want to like have you take away from it is just, it starts with you, okay? So we can't control people giving their unsolicited opinions. We can only control how we respond once they do. So you can respond by going off. That's not gonna do anything. What we hope is that you get to the point where it doesn't even bother you. It may even be comical to you, because honestly, they have stuff they need to work on. Pray for them. The Bible talks about they need prayer, because if all you got to do with your life is comment on me, you need some help.
That means you ain't focusing on you.
Exactly. And so with that being said, I mean, I feel like we touched on the important things. The scripture, there's a time for everything. There's a time to speak, but there's also a time to listen. And my dad has told me this several times. I challenge you this week, take 3 seconds to think before you speak. It's not going to be easy, but what you're going to realize is it's not about counting to 3, it's about thinking before you speak, and that will save you a lot of headache, energy, and things like that. Right. So that's it. That's all I have to say.
I got more, but for the sake of this,
it's a wrap. But on another note, look at this natural vitamin D. Just the melanin is popping. Ooh. But yeah, with that being said, it's getting hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yes, Lord. Yeah. Y'all comment below topics you want us to discuss. Like anything is up. Like put anything on the table. Don't mean we're gonna talk about it, but we might.
Please comment.
Yeah, share it.
Please. It doesn't take nothing but 2 seconds. Please comment. That's all we ask.
Let us know. I mean, we wanted this to be as enjoyable for you as it is for us. Yes, share this video.
Don't be lazy.
Share this video, like it, subscribe to the channel. Everyone have an amazing week. God bless you all.